Hello, it's Bethany, and here is part 2 of the favorites. Go back and watch part 1, and this is being posted on the last day of February, which means that all the favorites are out on the little short videos as well, so I hope you enjoy. One of my favorite things to do every year is to do a class play. Now, we have a stage at my school, but maybe you can just do it in your classroom. So how I do a class play is that not only do the students act in the play, they write the whole play, they make all their props, they come up with their ideas, they pick their characters, they pick their lines. Everything is done by the students. So it's just a nice way for them to be able to take ownership in something. It's a big project. Usually we do it right before their winter break in December. So we start it in October, right before Halloween. We write it, we practice all of November, we start practicing on the stage in the beginning of December, the end of November, and then the students perform it for their parents. It is something that is just so much fun. We've had such creative topics, and you can watch the video to learn more about that. Thank you. Every year we do a knowledge fair, which is like a science fair. The first year I did elementary. Now this is in 6 to 9, and I know like a lot of upper elementaries do it, but we do it in the 6 to 9, that lower elementary, and the students pick a topic. And the first year we did like an actual science fair where they had the boards, what you think of as a typical science fair. Last year we did a knowledge fair where they could pick any topic. It didn't have to be necessarily a science topic, and they wrote facts about that in a book, and then they just made their book on the computer. They printed it out and we bound the book. But this year we're taking it a little bit more so the students could have a little bit more into it and like have more fun with it, and we're making them into storybooks. So they add the facts into the book of what their cultural topic is, but it follows a story. Another of my favorites in Montessori is being able to sit anywhere. So for example, when we have groups, a large group or small groups, we're all at the rug, and we have 2 different rugs because we needed more space. But I have a lot of different seating in my classroom. For example, we actually just got this rocking chair. Here's a stool. I have this, a couch. They can sit here and work. They can sit here. They can work on a floor mat, a rug, anywhere they want, basically. There's a lot of options of where to sit. By far my favorite thing is their work plan. I have made, the first year that I was in training, I made so many different work plans, and I tried different things. This is the one that works the best because it's all blank when they get it, so they can truly be at where they are in math, language, cultural. And then these are their daily works, which they know how to complete every day, but there's like different things. So wherever they're working on in math, they're editing sentences, journal, math facts, 2 computer programs, and then their reading program and word study program. And then this is when they pick a math, language, and cultural. This is 10 works. We also do reading at the end of the day, so this isn't the only work they see all day, and it's very customizable to the student. We usually do a cultural all together, but they necessarily don't have to do that one. They could do a report or something else and get back to that cultural work. So it's when they complete the work is when they write down, but I love a blank work plan. Another great thing is that in Montessori, the students work where they're at and not having concepts being shown to them that they're not necessarily ready for. For example, if one student is still working on multiplication, they don't need to be rushed to division. If one student's still adding, like one first year still just adding and isn't ready to borrow and subtraction, they're on different planes. So the one first year could be subtracting and borrowing, and one first year could be adding, or maybe a first year's on multiplication already. It's lovely how we can all make where they need to be and when they need to learn it, following the student, following the child. So one of the best things is also the scope and sequence. Now there's a bajillion different scope and sequence out of there, and none of them I felt were like the full scope and sequence of what I could be teaching. So I created that myself, and then I put it in the form of a map, and I put so much time and effort into this. There's word maps, there's math maps, there's language maps for first, second, and third. There's different math maps, different language maps, so much effort. But it's really nice because it follows the student and they just go to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And it's just really nice, and it was probably the best decision I ever made to put time and effort into making this. And you can get it down at my website, partsofthelanguage.com. I love teaching a lot of the cultural, but my favorite thing has to be the rocks and the rock cycle. Rocks and geology are just so cool. And this is the mat from Washika that comes with a bunch of cards, grammar cards, just a bunch of different things that come with this beautiful material. It's just amazing. Teaching the rock cycle. I just like teaching the rocks and the different things, and the students get it, and it's beautiful when you have the students for 3 years and then the third years remember after hearing it for 2 years how the different rocks become and change into the other different rocks, and it's just a beautiful work, and they'll remember this because they need to know the different things around them on their earth. So another nice thing in Montessori is the students being able to work together, having that chance to collaborate on their work, working as a team, and going through the frustrations of that as working and sharing your opinions, but working together, or maybe not working together and taking a break, and just learning the team mentality of what we need to do when to complete a task, whether it just be doing a science experiment together or doing a math work together, or saying, hey, let's practice coins, or let's practice the math facts together. Anything, it's just beautiful that two students can decide, hey, let's work together. And yeah. Another favorite is the age of socialization, and you might say, why is that a favorite? Because in the lower elementary, the 6 to 9, the kids are in their age of socialization where all they want to do is talk all day. And that's great, and that's what developmentally they're at and everything, but it's good that they're in a Montessori setting, and why I say 6 to 9 is probably the best age to have Montessori, because not only are they growing into their bodies, they're still active, and they want to have that freedom to talk, and they can in the classroom. They can talk anytime they want. We try to make sure it's about their work, and we have the freedom to do that, and they can have conversations about what they want to talk about at lunch and recess and snack. But just being able to freely talk within the environment in the classroom is amazing, and not just having to sit there and be quiet and listen all day long. So that's a beauty about Montessori. How I do sharing in my classroom is that if a student wants to share something, they need to write about it, a few sentences, and then they bring it in, and then they can share at our group before we go to lunch. So another thing is just learning about the life of Maria Montessori. It's just so inspiring that a lady lots of years ago became a doctor and got us the method of how we teach today, and it's all over the world, and it's just truly amazing to be inspired by people and have the young students say, hey, I'm inspired, whoever we talk about, but Maria Montessori is a great one to talk about because they go to a Montessori school, and it's just inspiring. So just being able to talk about and be inspired by many different people is amazing. Another thing is just the cultural topics. So we study history, botany, zoology, science, geology, geography, so much. It's so important for the students just to be exposed to so much and so much knowledge, and say there's so much we can learn about the world, and hey, let's learn about it because it's our earth, it's our planet, and we need to help make it the best we can be. So we learn from history, and we learn from the science of what's already on the earth and everything like that. Another one is that geometry is all around us, so I always love to do the fundamental concepts and say point, line, plane, solid, point them all out because they're literally all over. Shapes are everywhere, geometry is everywhere, and pointing out that to your students is so important. So a lot of people teach the geometry in a different way. They do different grade levels with different topics. They do the whole thing every year, all 3 years, but the main idea is that it's so important to know that geometry is made up all around us. Another favorite thing in Montessori is the ability to just create my own materials for my classrooms. I love my symbolizing cards, my math cards, so many different things, making all the maps. I'm a creative person. I grew up in a Montessori school, and that made me very creative. So I like to be able to create my own materials for my classroom, and you can get them at my free hub down below, or I have a few things for purchase that you could purchase, but it's just being able to make all the things from Montessori and give back to my students and everything. So go check it out. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Comment some of your favorite things about Montessori down below. This is part 2, so you can go back and watch part 1 or watch all my short videos throughout the month of February in 2024 of all my favorite Montessori things. Join the free hub of resources down below, and thank you for watching.